Hello everybody, this is Abby Normal and welcome to the sad story of Emmeline Burns. It's a free game on Steam and it was recommended to me by a friend who was like, please play this for your LGBTQ series, since there was another game I played that was very familiar to it. And it's basically a Yuri story. It's a little bit of a Yuri. My name is... achievement unlocked. Oh, just opened. My name is Toma Andrews and I'm the victim of identity theft. Sorry, I was too busy looking at the achievement. It's all Aunt Catherine's fault, of course. Most things are, according to Mum. Stealing Mum's favourite dress when they were both schoolgirls was bad enough, but stealing the name of her first and only daughter? Now that's a low not many of us can sink to within our lifetimes. My name was supposed to be Amelia. Mum had always loved the name Amelia, though I don't know why. She wanted to call me Amelia if I was a girl and Thomas if I was a boy, after her father. And then Aunt Catherine ruined everything. Aunt Catherine fell pregnant with her first child around the same time my mum found out she was going to have me. Their due dates were also very familiar, only a few weeks apart. Though Mum and Aunt Catherine have never been practically close, they spent more time together during their twin pregnancies than they had done over the last decade. They attended the same hospital for their checkups and went to the same support group at the Civic Centre, and their rocky relationship improved over complaints about bladder infections, morning sickness and uncontrollable cravings for anchovies, Mum, or smoked cheese, Aunt Catherine. And then Aunt Catherine stole my name. Aunt Catherine is 1 year younger than Mum, but she always got things first. That's what Mum told me. She was the first to have her period, to pierce her ears and to have a serious boyfriend. She was the first to have a baby too. A baby girl. A girl called Amelia. Mum didn't know what to do, having her dream name stolen away from her so suddenly. She had half a mind to confront Aunt Catherine about it, but didn't in the end. She'd only just begun to repair her relationship with her sister and she didn't want to ruin it. I bloody well would have. But she was still annoyed. I'd have said, "Oi! I told you I wanted to name my child that. Why? What the hell is wrong with you?" She still is. Good. Mum could have called me Amelia anyway. Well, true, that's true. But the name didn't feel special to her anymore, not when Aunt Catherine had used it. In the end, after much deliberation, Mum decided to go with her second option. Thomas! Since I was a girl, however, Thomas was out of the question. Was there a female variant of Thomas? Yeah, you can call a girl Tom. Thomasina, Thomasandra, Thomasetta. You can call a girl Tom, or Tommy. Like Tommy Pickles. But Tommy Pickles isn't a girl. Maybe not. There was Toma, however. Toma Andrews. That's how I got my name. That might explain why I don't like it very much. My name isn't really mine. Like clothes that are 2 sizes too big, it doesn't fit me properly. It never has. That's because it was never intended for me. If I'd been called Amelia, would my life be any different? Would it change who I am? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know, because I've never been an Amelia. I'm just Toma, the weird girl with the weird name. And my name isn't the only weird thing about me. I'm a witch! Ever since I can remember, my mum has been obsessed with family history. She says it's like playing detective, peeking back into the past with only fragments of information, trying to find the truth. Mum took me to the library with her when I was small, so she could keep a watchful eye over my little blonde head while she delved into the annals of our family. I said annals, you heard me, of our family's long-lost history. There she would spend hours and hours searching through the online databases and old archives on the hunt for articles about the Spencers, or the Kendalls, or the Lintons, or the Becketts, or the Bradfords. Fortunately, our family used to be pretty rich back in the day. Mum says it's a lot easier to research your family tree if you come from a wealthy background. There are more records kept on the comings and goings of the rich, as opposed to street beggars and paupers. That's probably because of the money. As soon as the money is involved, people will pay attention to you. And it was like that back in the 1700s, and it's exactly the same now. I remember that the floor of the library was hard, covered it... Wait 1 second. Yeah, there we go. Because I feel like I'm yelling at you guys, which I'm probably not, but I'm like, oh god, it's pretty music, but I can't hear myself when I'm like this. I remember that the floor of the library was hard, covered in dark green carpet that was uncomfortable and scratchy, and the walls were dull grey like concrete blocks in a multi-storey car park. Though Mum got me a library card, I always got bored within the first half hour or so. There are only so many times you can reread volumes of Goosebumps. It's a library. There are tons of books in a library. What library did you go to where you were like, I'm bored? I used to get told off and get called up like, Abby, where are you? And I'm like, what? I'm at the library. And it's like, Abby, it's like 9 o'clock. I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I came straight from school at 5 and stayed in the library that long. Despite these inconveniences, however, I still found the stories Mum would tell me about my long-dead relatives interesting. The stories like they came from the pages of a book, not real life, not history, my history. There were stories about my great-great-grandfather, Zachary Kendall, who used to be a priest, but was fired from his post after he physically assaulted a member of his congregation while drunk on Christmas Day. Well done, grandfather! There were stories about my great-great-great-grandmother, Maribel Spencer, who ran away from home at the age of her 15 to marry her middle-aged piano teacher, Roger Beckett. I don't know if that's romantic or not, because considering she's 15. There were stories about my great-great-great-great-aunt, Rose Bradford, who was rumoured to be a witch and claimed she could cure any ache or illness with a sprig of holly. I don't know why, but these stories my mum told me of unknown people from unfamiliar times always resonated with me. Maybe it was because they were fictional characters or celebrities, but real people. My family, part of me. I wouldn't be alive right now without Zachary Kendall, even if he did beat up a member of his congregation. And I wouldn't be alive without Maribel Spencer, even if she did have a thing for older men who could play a semi-decent Felice. In a way, I owe them. I owe them a lot. Except for the one that buggered goats. We don't talk about him. We don't talk about Cousin Wilbur from Wales. I don't know why I said Wales. Oh no, I'm so sorry to any of my Welsh viewers. I don't know why I said Wales. That's the first place that popped into my head. I was like, where should I go? Wales. And then my brain went Liverpool afterwards, and I was like, wait a minute, it's not right. Wait, why Liverpool? Oh, I just carry on. I've already dug myself in a hole. I suppose that what they say is true. Blood really is thicker than water. Yeah, but you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. And speaking of blood, the local library wasn't the only place my mum's investigation led her. Oh no, that was just the tip of the iceberg. She used to take me to cemeteries a lot. And not just this cemetery, Barrowby All Saints, but cemeteries all across Lincolnshire, and sometimes even further afield to Yorkshire and Leicestershire. I would love it if some of my American viewers was just like, I love the way you said Yorkshire. It's like, how do you say Leicestershire? And it's like, Leicestershire, you know? Whereas you try to get people from like, in America say it. I have heard people say it's hilarious because they're like, Leicestershire, or like, nope, you got it wrong. The thing about family history is, if you get obsessed with it like Mum, birth certificate and death certificate stop being enough. You want to see real evidence of your ancestors' past lives for yourself. Hence the graveyards. Lots and lots of graveyards. Every weekend without fail, my mum would take me on a trip to a graveyard searching for ancestors. Sometimes we turned it into a game. We'd challenge one another to see who could find Rose Bradford's final resting place the quickest. The winner got to choose what we'd listen to in the car on the way home. Being my mum's daughter, I hated her taste in music and I was desperate to beat her. I got quite good at finding graves, if I do say so myself. Even though I was around 7 or 8 and my legs weren't as long as my mum's, I was able to beat her 9 times out of 10. I used to think she was going easy on me. Now I'm not so sure. I just have a talent. I'm good at finding dead people, even if they have been dead for 2 centuries and all that's left behind are bones. Now, let me just get one thing straight. I'm not crazy. I don't think dead people call out to me or anything. I've never seen a ghost before, excluding the ones in horror movies. I guess it's just a coincidence. But it's quite a strange coincidence. Whenever I went into a graveyard with my mum, I just knew where to look, almost instinctively. My feet just happened to lead me to a tombstone, and via some strange skill I might have inherited from Rose Bradford, the self-proclaimed psychic, I was usually right. That might be why I'm obsessed with cemeteries, even now. Just like some people prefer hot weather, others cold, I like graveyards. They remind me of my childhood, of fun times spent with my mum searching for my relatives. When I went out looking for graves with my mum, I was almost always right. Ever since I started attending St. Hugh's College, however, I've only ever felt wrong. Because kids suck! Though I get good grades in most of my classes, I'm hopelessly lost when it comes to anything beyond that. I have hardly any friends other than Hattie, and even she might turn against me if she knew how I felt about her. Oh no, I'm nothing like Amelia Miller, who just so happens to be in the same form as me. She's always surrounded by people. They all love her. Would they love me if I'd been called Amelia instead? I don't know. But I do know, even though it's unfair and ridiculous, and I don't dislike Amelia, I'm still jealous of her. Her parents are still together, and her dad has a good job, and she has nice skin and pretty blue eyes, and she's incredibly popular. And she kept her Tamagotchi alive, whereas I didn't. I, on the other hand, am awkward and shy, and I can't hold a conversation with anybody other than Hattie. That might be another reason why I like graveyards. There are a lot of people in them, but they can't bother me like they do in school. They're dead, and that's perfectly fine with me. I mean, this girl has a lot of good points. As the saying goes, dead men tell no tales. They only leave tales behind, which we can examine as we see fit. They also don't talk a lot, which is hilarious. That's why I came to Barrowby All Saints this Friday instead of catching the bus to go to school. I just wanted some time off. A few moments where I can stop being myself. A person I've never liked. If only I had been born as Amelia. Then my life would be so much better. I mean, would it? I would be so much better. Would it now? The day is overcast for early autumn, and a thick layer of fog creeps along the background. The grass is wet with morning dew, but the soil beneath is firm and hard. I suppose that's to be expected. You wouldn't want to build a graveyard on marshland where people would run the risk of falling through the earth and into the graves. I would. It'd be hilarious. I might have an affinity for the dead, but not even I fancy popping in for an unexpected visit with Joel Fisher, 1843 and 1912, and Elaine, wife of the above. Fucking Jesus, chill out with the sound effects. Oh, come on. Now I can't hear myself. Thank you, wind. It was a bit too whooshy for my liking. There we go. It's cold too. The wind snakes down my spine and I shiver. It isn't a rough wind though, instead it's a soft brushing past my cheeks and through my hair in an almost apologetic manner. The leaves on the trees are dark green, some already turning red and yellow, but the sun in the sky is obscured by the clouds, so everything looks grey. My feet crunch over the stray leaves with every step I take, but that's the only sound I can hear. Just me, the wind, and the leaves. Oh, I'm pretty! Oh, I'm so pretty! Oh, bless you. As I walk through these well-trodden paths, I pause, examining each tombstone that catches my interest. There's something strangely inviting about these old slabs of stone, almost as though they're greeting me. And why wouldn't they be? I come here often enough, they should know me by now. Any other mother would probably find their daughter's obsession with graveyards unsettling. Unfortunately, my mum is just as weird as I am, so she doesn't question it. She must know my love of graveyards is all her fault. I nod my head in recognition as I pass each tombstone. Alistair Doncaster, Irene Douglas, Charlotte Draper, Dorian Hughes, Abel Johnson, Genevieve Parsons, Audrey Ridgewood. I wonder about these people, reduced to nothing more than names and bones. What lives did they lead? Were they happy, sad, or merely bemused by all the coincidences which led them into being? For Alistair Doncaster, that happened in 1879. For Irene Douglas, it was 1894. What was the world like back then? It was rubbish. It's not much better now, but it was pretty rubbish. When these people were alive and their footsteps, not mine, crunched the leaves and fell firmly against the compacted earth. I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine it. As I walk through the graveyard like Alice sinking into Wonderland, a heavy thought suddenly strikes me. What would it be like if I was already dead? Alright, chill the fuck out, girl. I'm a save, because if you're gonna give me the option of killing myself straight off the bat, I'm just gonna be like, nah, I'm good. I close my eyes. The cold wind blows across my cheeks, and I swear I can almost smell it. The earth in my nostrils, the scent of decay. What was that sound? It was almost like a footstep, but that can't be. I'm the only person here after all. At least I thought I was. Not anymore. enchant. A young girl stands there, her arms held by her sides, her eyes wide and blue. Her hair is loose, light brown, her fringe cut just above her eyebrows. She wears a white dress, long and modest, which falls to her ankles. Oh, she's so pretty. Oh, her dress is compromised of a number of layers and looks like something that belongs to another era, another time. And England, when it... the reason why I'm rushing it is because I've just got really emotional for some reason. I was thinking of a film, and then there was, like, and Marnie was there. And I was like, oh no, it's that film. And England, when Queen Victoria was on the throne, and the horse and carriage was still the main way people get about. And it was socially acceptable to wear bonnets in public. You can still wear a bonnet in public. I'd wear a bonnet in public with all the trimmings. She looks like nobody I've ever seen before, except characters in period dramas. There's something so unrealistic about her appearance, I can hardly bring myself to believe that she's really real. Maybe that's why I'm doing something I rarely do. My curiosity unsticks my throat and I find myself asking her a question. Who the fuck are you? Are you going to a costume party? Are you a cosplayer? Are you referring to this old thing? That dress doesn't look like some old thing. It's expensive, right? I believe it was rather dear to Father when Father first purchased it. Now, however, I'm not particularly well versed in the economy, so I could not give you an answer. Father? What kind of girl calls their dad Father? I do. Father! Father! I do when there's a spider and I'm just like, Father! What? There's a spider in the room! Ah! Maybe I'm just biased because my dad vanished before I was even born. Mum told me he couldn't cope with the commitment, which was quite funny really because he had no qualms about commitment when he asked me to sleep with him. But Father sounds far too dated. I like the sound of your mum. And I haven't even touched on the other stuff she said. Oh, the girl smiles. Her face remains pale and does not flush, but I can imagine blood coursing beneath her cheeks all the same. That's creepy. She gives the impression of blushing, even though she does not. I suppose most people would use dad nowadays. Forgive me, I'm not familiar with such a phrase, and it sounds quite peculiar to me. And the plot thickens! My questions only seem to invite more questions, and I find myself drawn towards the strange girl despite myself. I want to know who she is. I want to understand her. What? Who thinks like that? I'd just be like, okay, I'm gonna go now. It must be this feeling, this desperate thirst for hidden knowledge. It's not hidden knowledge you're thirsty for, which encouraged Mum to track down what now remains of Zachary Kendall, Maribel Spencer, Rose Bradford, and the rest. So, I've not seen you around Barry before. Do you live here? I have lived here for a very long time. But you don't look much older than me. Pardon me. I will be 15 years old this December. At least I should be. So she's 14 too. You say that, I'm already just like, yeah. This is not good. You say that you've lived here for a long time, but I've never seen you before. You don't go to St. Hugh's, do you? She shakes her head. So what school do you go to? Ruskin? Sandon? Not Walton Girls? She shakes her head again. Then are you homeschooled? That would explain what she's doing in the graveyard at 8:20 on a Friday morning wearing such a strange outfit. She might as well have fled from one of those ye old-fashioned photographer parlour places. I suppose I was homeschooled, yes. I've never been to school before. I used to have Ellie, but I have not seen her in some time. Ellie, a private tutor? Something like that, yes. She was rather strict. She got so angry when I escaped from her stuffy old history lessons and hid over at Linton's estate. Oh god, I just got messages pop up on my screen, so I had to pause and I was like, damn, I can't read. She smiles a soft, gentle smile like an old woman with rheumy eyes. With rheumy eyes, when recalling a fond memory. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody my age pull a face like that before. Just who is this girl? Who is she? But you don't have a tutor anymore. There wouldn't be much point anymore. Is she one of those YouTube celebrities then? She looks the part in those clothes. I can imagine her as one of those eccentric, self-proclaimed living dolls who get thousands of subscribers for eating food on camera. You mean oh, she's a mukbanger. Yes! We found her own. We could make millions. Toma, we could make so much money. Just you know. Just, you know. I don't know what her name is, but you know. So, I'm sorry this is the first question I should have asked, but what's your name? Emily. Emily. I think I can remember that. It's a common enough name. There are 2 Emilys in my class. Emily Hargreaves and Emily Turner. I don't know if this name fits the girl in front of me though. Emily sounds too simple, somehow unfinished, like a sentence ending without a full stop. I don't investigate any further, however. I hardly know this girl. What right do I have to ask too many questions? And if it would not be too rude, may I inquire as to what I should call you? Oh, I should have expected this. Whenever somebody asks my name, it's only too polite to ask for theirs in return. I don't like answering this question, though. I have never. Nope. Just what is my name, anyway? It says Toma on my birth certificate, but I can't bring my... All this time I'm thinking is I must be standing in silence, just like staring intently at this girl, and she's like, okay. It says Toma on my birth certificate, but I can't bring myself to believe it. Not when I was fated before I took my first breath to be called Amelia. Oh, I do not look so troubled. You make me feel very guilty. Oh God, I'm sorry. What a funny girl. You don't need to apologise. She thinks I'm funny, does she? Oh, I might slap her in the face, then she'll think I'm funny. Kind of stings, given how peculiar she looks. You do not need to tell me your name if you do not wish to. We all have our own secrets. Are you sure you don't mind? I am quite sure. I could just make up a name for you instead. Well, I hope you're not adverse to this suggestion. I rather like giving people nicknames. I would always call Miss Warren Ellie. Her first name was Helena, you see, but she got mad at me because of that too. This girl has no manners, she would always say. She may have a pretty face, but she behaves like a gutter snipe. Not that I ever gave a button what she thought. The father was paying her enough, so I thought it best to make her work for her wages. She may have found me irritating, but I certainly wasn't boring. Okay. Then I can think of a name for you? Yeah, sure, it doesn't bother me. Anything would be better than Toma. Well, let me see. Emily looks me up and down, one finger against her lower lip. Her smile is teasing and her eyes flash mischievously like a naughty schoolgirl's in an Enid Blyton story. She'll be talking about condensed milk and tinned sardines next, I'm sure of it. Sardines. It is true, we do not know each other very well, but that is just the present. I feel we could become close if given the chance. You remind me so much of her after all. Can it be a mere coincidence? Huh? I thought so from behind too, but when you turn around it became clearer than ever. You have her nose and her eyes, maybe in her forehead too, but it's hard to tell since it's still covered in hair. Well, I look at the ground, suddenly awkward, and dig the tip of my school shoe into the earth. I shift my right foot slightly, making a small indentation in the earth. A minute grave for an ant. I don't know if I like being compared to other people. I do that enough myself. I'm liberal. Even if I do look like one of your friends, I don't think I want their name. I was hoping for a name of my own. Oh, gosh, yes, of course. You do not need to worry about that. I've never been so callous to address you in the title of another. I apologise if it seemed that way. She does sound sorry too. Truly sorry. Even if you look like her, you are not her. You couldn't be. It is not possible. A sigh. So let me see. A name for you. A name that belongs to you and only you. Ah, I think I have it. From now on you can be Verity. Verity? Verity? Do you like it? It's pretty. Much prettier than my real name. Emily smiles, her face flushing. Though once more it doesn't really flush, I just imagine that it does, with happiness. Oh, I'm so glad. I thought that virtue names might be too anachronistic. Anachronistic nowadays, but I'm truly fond of them. What? Who are you? One of my aunt's cats was called Charity, and my grandmother was Patience. Not that she was particularly patient. She used to hit my father for the smallest misdemeanours when he was a child. But that was a long time ago. Her face darkens, but only for a few moments. At any rate, I'm curious. Why are you in a gloomy place like this at such an hour when you should be at school? I just like graveyards, I guess. They're relaxing. Relaxing? That is quite a strange thing to say. Why do you think that? I'm not sure, I just like them. Nice, quiet, people don't come here. And when they do, they're quiet too. It's the respectful thing to do, to be quiet. I like silence. Apart from the local boys who tramp about here drunk on Friday nights and piss on their headstones and scrawl weird words on them. I like this person, whoever done this. Whoever, developer of the game, you must be British because you understand. Oh, I need to stop here for today because I'm lagging. I'm screwing up my words, but oh, it's quite cute. I might not play this game. I might stop it here. But it's good so far. It's not too bad. Oh, the sad story of Emmeline Burns. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm half and half about this game. I know I like what visual novels I like and what I don't like, but this is cute. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next video.